copper alloy surfaces kill bacteria, they destroy viruses.
Dr. Harold Michaels is an expert in metals and founder of the Antimicrobial Copper Action Network. He says copper kills deadly bacteria like E. coli and MRSA.
What do you really passionately want people to know about copper?
Copper can help make you safe. Copper protects.
Harold's wife and partner in some of their work is Dr. Corinne Michaels, a celebrated genetics professor emerita at Queens College. She explains how bacteria die when they land on a copper surface.
Copper ions get released. These copper ions catalyze a reaction that forms some hydrogen peroxide. It causes the membrane to be distorted and eventually just burst open. And all of the insides of the bacteria are released and the bacteria is dead. And it acts in minutes, literally minutes.
She says as for many viruses that attack us, they invade a human cell, multiply inside it, and take some of that cell's membrane along as they extrude out of the cell. But that membrane can also be destroyed by copper ions. It works against influenza and the very contagious norovirus. Can copper help the world's fight against the coronavirus that causes COVID-19? Harold and Corinne wrote an article to say they believe the answer is yes.
It has been tested against coronavirus, just not this specific coronavirus. I've seen comparisons of the DNA, the one that causes COVID-19 compared to the one that has been tested. They're very closely related.
I basically put together an argument saying if it works on this coronavirus, it will work on the one that causes COVID-19.
We're talking about the same copper that covers the Statue of Liberty, and yes, it's the same copper that covers our pennies. By the way, copper mixed with nickel covers our other coins. People have known for millennia that copper has health benefits, even when mixed with other metals to form alloys like brass or bronze. People learned that transporting water in copper vessels made it safer to drink. And in the deadly Paris cholera epidemics of the 1860s, most workers who dealt with copper didn't get the disease. Harold says there are many alloys that have copper as the primary metal. In his years with the Copper Development Association, he studied Grand Central Station's brass railings and bronze door pulls, proving that these copper alloys are still killing microbes years after being installed. Experiments at North Shore University Hospital in Manhasset, New York, proved that stethoscopes with copper parts reduced bacteria, and so did copper-outfitted phlebotomy chairs for drawing blood. Researchers know that many people die from infections they pick up while in a hospital, so Harold helped run studies funded by the Department of Defense at 3 hospitals, including Sloan Kettering in New York.
We worked in the medical intensive care units. We install the copper surfaces in the rooms, the over-the-patient table, the IV pole, the arms of the visitor chair, the bed rail, nurse's call button. They comprise certainly well less than 10% of the area of the room, but these were things that were frequently touched. It showed a dramatic difference. The copper rooms had a 58% fewer infections.
A similar study installing copper at a Ronald McDonald House for families of kids getting hospital care reduced bacteria by 80%. The Environmental Protection Agency has even weighed in, confirming the bacteria-fighting benefit of copper alloy surfaces.
It should be in schools. It should be in mass transit systems. You don't have to train anyone if you're running a facility how to make the copper work. It's going to just do it automatically.
Although they're big fans of copper alloy surfaces, the Michaels have some reservations about faddish items that have appeared for sale, like copper-infused socks, masks, and bed sheets.
Where's your data? Show me the facts, and then I'll consider it.
As scientists, that's where it always comes down to. If you have the facts, you would present them.
Of course, copper comes from the earth, and companies that do the mining have been criticized because of damage to the land and groundwater.
The way they used to do things, certainly 100 years ago, but even 50 years ago, is not acceptable. And I think they're trying to be responsible. But can you imagine a society where we didn't have any copper? You wouldn't have cell phones. You wouldn't have computers. What would you have for wiring in your house? Hopefully it'll be used more in antimicrobial applications to help mankind and prevent infections and save lives. That is the power of copper.
I'm Donna Hanover for Simply Science.